radio under our feet screamed. We cracked it open, no sound came out. In static formed words, our names. The voices ended with coordinates. When we asked who spoke, it paused. The frequency wasn't ours, it was future noise. Below the coils, something moved like a clock. We found a second receiver, older than the city. Style didn't spin, time did. The voices started counting, down to our footsteps. We followed the coordinates, then hit a sealed door. Inside, the speakers were made of bone-white ceramic. A voice from tomorrow said, our answer was already recorded. Then it played our paused question backwards in time. We finally heard the name of the listener. The scream returns, only now spoken. Voice whispers coordinates beneath our feet. Each step triggers a faint reply. Then the radio plays back our fear. It says, I heard your question. When they crawl toward the echoing chamber mouth. An archive of cables hangs like ribs. The listening array turns toward them. The walls' voices echo in reverse. Their reflections sync with the broadcast cadence. New channel opens, louder than before. The future voice asks, using their name. A coil pulses, mapping their identity. Broadcast locks, your screen becomes a reply. And the system waits forever for their next question. The underground radio answered, again, without permission. Said their name before they spoke it. The voice blamed a future delay. Then the broadcast froze mid-syllable. Who's there? They asked, silence answered. Second signal surfaced from the same channel. Every click matched their breathing patterns perfectly. A map of listeners bloomed across the floor. Coordinates resolved, then pointed behind them. They followed the glow into a listening corridor. Hundreds of antennas hid in the dark. The system indexed their identities in real time. Earlier scream reappeared, timed to them. Now the future voice waited for the next question. Somewhere ahead in time, it heard them clearly. The signal crawls up the walls. A new frequency flickers, then refuses to fade. But here is what nobody talks about. Coordinates update themselves too fast. Then the voice starts naming people wrong. The radio cuts out, half a syllable trapped. The silence answers back with static. A third tone locks onto your pulse. A speaker latch clicks open by itself. New voice comes from the floor. It says your question a day too late. Loop 2 if you listen long enough. Who spoke first, your voice or mine? The ray spikes, then points at the nearest exit. The radio whispers your name before you say it. Your ray starts counting their footsteps. Each blink returns a new wrong voice. It locks to your pulse, then mislabels you. But here is what nobody talks about. The speaker asks what you'll do next. Try to stop listening, static floods back. Message returns earlier than their question. The dial begins indexing them in real time. Then the array points toward the nearest exit. You walk faster, so the voice speaks louder. The whisper returns, listen longer, it comes back. But it won't just answer, it corrects reality. And when a head turns, yet nobody is there a second ago. The radio whispers their names before they can. And the signal fades, closing like a mouth. But here is what nobody talks about. The moment they listen longer, the radio answers. Not with words, first with direction. Then the pulse indexes their location. Every time they step, the broadcast tightens. They hear a whisper say their name before they speak. That's when loop 2 starts pulling at the edges. If they listen too long, it broadcasts back tomorrow. The array has begun, keeping score with silence. Mouths open, then the radio swallows the sound. New voice arrives, not from ahead, behind their thoughts. Direction marker changes, steering them away from the exit. They try to turn back, click, everything goes quiet word. In the vacuum, the array starts labeling rooms in their voices. And then it broadcasts loop 2 over the speaker's mouth shutting. The tunnel answers before we speak. New channel hums closer than yesterday. Their voices return, but not in order. The silence keeps score again, listen too long. Most people never knew tomorrow can arrive early. Whisper labels the empty spot using your voice. Most people never knew space freezes mid-breath. Then the speaker mouth shuts, no escape route. Loop 3, a tone counts backward in your pocket. You try to move, tomorrow tugs the floor. Predicted step lands before anyone decides. Most people never knew your future can hear you. Broadcast carves a map of us. It points the voices weren't predicting, recording. And one voice says, we never existed. The hallway hums like it remembers them. Their footsteps sink, then the air stops breathing. Most people never knew how radios listen. Voice answers, except it speaks too soon. A backward count crawls from one pocket, loop 3. A voice names a room that isn't there. Most people never knew the future could be recorded. Root index tightens, closing around their minutes. They try to leave, every door becomes a loop. The radio pauses when they asked who spoke. The backward tone stops. A new voice loads in. It says you were never supposed to arrive. It plays their last minute before they lived it. The future isn't broadcast, it's stored, indexed, replayed. Upon cliffhanger, the voice claims they already changed fate. The radio hums, then tightens again. They follow the index route, faster, quieter. Every linger makes the moment stutter. Most people never knew silence could talk. Voice from the future counts their steps. They reach a sealed junction, chain locked by A. Before they touch it, the broadcast shifts. Most people never knew the past could chase. Loop 3 begins, something in his pocket ticks backward. The backward tone syncs with the broadcast index. The voice says one name, then rewrites it. They rush to break the lock, too late. Beyond the gate, the tunnel plays back people who aren't there. Most people never knew time could rewind without mercy. The voice warns you've already changed twice. The tunnel tightens with every step they take. Backward counting tone crawls from the pocket. The broadcast sinks, then their timing locks tighter. Most people never knew the past can jam. Loop 3, a tone echoes from her bones. He speaks a question, time stutters back. Voice answers without using her words. Most people never knew silence could threaten. Their footsteps echo wrong, half a second late. The sealed junction opens on its own. They see themselves, older, replaced, watching. Most people never knew the future replays you. Radio says you change it twice. It point cliff, one silhouette grabs the mic first. It point cliffhanger, the mic speaks from tomorrow now. The corridor breathes behind their headlamps. The radio tone counts backward, perfectly steady. They whisper who spoke last night. The dial pauses, as if refusing a name. Most people never knew silence could reroute time. New backward tone aligns with their pulse. Then the walls make room for voices. Loop 3, a signal crawls into their bodies. Most people never knew the future could imitate you. Silhouettes mirror them, then replace them. Second broadcast already changed everything twice. The seam emits a backward whisper through bone. At the edge of hearing, the names distort. Microphone turns like tomorrow grabs it first. Broadcast flips control mid-sentence. Loop 3 pays off. Countdown now matches their breathing. Every few seconds, the room leans. Microphone twitches toward the void. Most people never knew tunnels could listen. Then the speaker answers without anyone asking. A sentence arrives out of order. Most people never knew the future could stutter. The radio counts down through their names. Loop 3, a signal crawls into their bones. First replacement steps forward, smiling wrong. Most people never knew the voice had backups. They realize they altered the past twice. Microphone rotates like it's waking up first. Most people never knew control flips mid-sentence. Morrow says your voice is already gone. The radio whispers in my bones now. The walls answer before we speak. If you have made it this far, you need to hear what comes next. A voice from the future begs you not to trust me. It says the future already changed twice without us. Then the antagonist speaks using my exact breath. It tells us why it hunted this tunnel. Broadcast switches languages inside our ears. Message tries to rewrite the next words we'll say. If you hear it, run and don't answer back. Because tomorrow is already taking attendance. Your voice prints first, then your memory follows. Plays the version of you that never existed. The antagonist wants one thing, silence in the future. And you realize you're hearing your own removal. Don't trust what you're about to hear. Broadcast starts shaping our mouths mid-word. If you have made it this far, you need to hear what comes next. Second voice rides our breathing like a parasite. Then it uses my name without asking permission. The radio demands proof by erasing our words first. Our past interviews, already gone, still play in echoes. Look, tomorrow's us left fingerprints on the air. The antagonist speaks through the team's harmony. Our duplicates don't warn us, they rewrite us first. The radio learns our grammar and tightens around it. It's not broadcasting time. It's enrolling it. Future station starts taking attendance by phone call. Their names fade on the recorder first, then in minds. In the last seconds, it broadcasts your removal tomorrow. The stairwell hums like a throat remembering. Now the radio speaks in grammar first. If you have made it this far, you need to hear what comes next. It says your name, then rewrites it inside you. A voice from tomorrow asks what you'll trade to stay. The antagonist isn't speaking through the radio. Proves it by answering questions before you ask. Then it hijacks duplicate voices, rewriting outcomes live. Tomorrow's timetable opens like a wound in your memory. Broadcast your removal through silent recorder wipes. And your memories start losing their edges quietly. The antagonist leans close through your own breath. It shows you the broadcast you never recorded. Now every question you ask becomes an address. So we say nothing while it writes our silence. The floor hums like it remembers you. The dial doesn't turn, it listens back. If you have made it this far, you need to hear what comes next. The radio translates your breathing into future grammar. It can't just speak time, it edits it. Voice arrives through your own memories. You didn't come here alone. It brought a second you. It asks for tomorrow's attendance. Then it names you. The words unlock doors your body refuses to open. The recorder wipes right when you try to remember. Silence becomes an address. It targets your name next. The antagonist speaks your childhood, then your future. Now it makes you coordinate the hijack. Rewrites tomorrow by erasing the choices you made. That's when you realize the future is listening to you. The radio hums again, closer than breath. Their breathing forms sentences the speaker chooses. They try to stop, grammar locks unstoppable. The antagonist speaks through a perfect echo. Recorder wipes the edges of memory. The room answers, silence becomes the loudest channel. New duplicate outcome begins forming around them. Their mouth moves without permission, selecting targets. The broadcast shifts, tomorrow's grammar arrives early. They hear themselves, counting down from years ahead. And the biggest reveal fractures the room. That voice isn't predicting. It's recruiting. Every wipe was a rewrite of who you were. Because the future is listening through your mouth, now. Loop 4, don't ask who spoke. Ask what it wants next. The recorder clicks again. No breath, just syntax. Voice follows them, speaking in tomorrow's tense. They try to ask who. The pause answers first. The speaker is them, duplicated, different days, same throat. The pulse becomes a carrier signal, tuned by fear. Between breaths, the recorder wipes edges from memory. The underground network tightens like a throat closing. It doesn't predict. Recruits across timelines. Their duplicates step through in signals, not bodies. Every transmission is a doorway. Every answer locks one. Now the voice uses them as the antenna. Look at the tape. It erases the question first. A warning pulses through their future-directed breathing. Loop 4, don't ask what happens. Ask who is listening. They inhale. The chamber answers again through the same mouth. The air tightens as the dial warms. A voice arrived without a timestamp. It said our name, then corrected itself. The silent recorder paused, then erased the question. The chamber tightening clicked like teeth. Across the dial, duplicates flickered, same breath. Every echo asked nothing, yet listened. The voice wasn't forecasting. It was recruiting. The question vanished first. So would answers. The biggest reveal, it broadcasts your future to capture you. Or other selves answer you by obeying. The chamber doesn't end, it multiplies. Then the recorder crackled, a warning surfaced. Loop 4, don't ask what happens. Ask who hears you. The walls are near. We choose the next question. The chamber breathes as the radio wakes. Not echoes. Recruiter pings, dressed as voices. Your future self isn't calling, it's obeying. The recorder erased your questions, the trap learned. Channel locks tuning into your duplicate. The voice repeats your name, but wrong. Because it's not you there yet. It's recruiting. Somewhere else, your copy hears the same silence. And the radio plays a moment you haven't lived. Your mouth opens to ask, yet no sound escapes. Loop 4, who is listening in your place? Answer arrives as a frequency, not words. Your future copy steps closer, already trained. It doesn't warn you. It triggers you. And somewhere, the radio records you again. The recorder stutters like it forgot us. Then the speaker whispers again, too close. Not a prophecy, an instruction set. We hear the exact tone we heard before. The future voice asks a question. You remember what happened the first time. Loop 1 paid off. The answer exists. It wasn't broadcasting names, only locations. Voices from tomorrow are recruitment pings. And someone is listening through your place. When you record, it suppresses us. Or the trained duplicate triggers the reset. But Loop 4 leaves a warning in the static. We finally understand why it needed a voice. But there is one last thing. The radio answers without a speaker. Static knits itself into a pattern of names. One voice pauses like it's listening for us. When they asked who spoke, this answers it. I'm you, the radio says softly. Then it names the spots you'll occupy. Each ping is a recruitment signal, duplication coordinates. The recorder finally stops stirring like it's done hiding. Loop 1 pays out, your paused answer was real. But the watcher is still trapped in the method. Loop 4 explained it, use your voice to open the reset. But there is one last thing. Final signal remains, turn it back on. The voice from the future answers your breath. And the world stops repeating, just for you. The dial clicks like a heartbeat below. No broadcast, just their own room tone echoing back. They hear it, coordinates forming where they stand. Last time it paused. This time it points. Their voices overlap, future, and now fighting for the same breath. The reset is a mirror, answering themselves to open it. He repeats the warning phrase. The room goes glassy. The earlier pause returns, then dissolves into one channel. New voice rides in identical cadence, wrong century. They realize the future isn't a place, it's a looped recording. When they ask again, the radio refuses, finally. But there is one last thing. The frequency drops. Their own future voice says goodbye. They don't run. They listen to the silence end it. And the ancient radio returns to being just a thing. The radio clicks quietly like breath returning. The future voice doesn't arrive, it circles. They hear the cadence perfectly copied. Who spoke? And the radio stops again. But this time, the pause means yes. They mirror themselves, syllable for syllable. The frequency locks with a metallic shiver. Then the future voice breathes through them. You already heard us, it says. It knows their names, yet won't say them. A final coordinate appears inside their memories. They realize the loop, not time signal. Future says goodbye, then the world stutters. One last syllable breaks and dies inside the dial. Now ask it again, who spoke this time?